and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no. Stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Good morning. It's Tuesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Griffin, and there ain't a whole lot to say. It's just kind of what it is. I could say I'm surprised, but, I'm not a liar, so I'm not going to do that. I could say I'm disappointed, but we've sailed right past that. I could say I'm angry, but if I can't lie.
I thought you are angry. You came in here storming and throwing things.
It shouldn't be like this, but it is, and it's been that way for a long time. So it goes. Remember when the Orioles were up 3-0 and they strung together an inning and they were scoring runs, and it was a little goofy because Laureano's was kind of a chop that just happened to chop over a drawn-in infield, but still they count all the same.
So he was trying to do that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. They was trying to chop it. But whatever, again, they count. And it was a very hard-hit chop for what it's worth. I don't remember exactly how Ben Wagner described it, but I remember thinking to myself, you know what, that's a pretty fair description. Even for a chop, it kind of worked. We were like, man, things are good. Runs are coming home. They're putting together an inning. This looks like a team that's trying, and that's neat. You can only ask for so much. Trying seems good. So we were all feeling.
I like the mustache that Tomoyuki Sagano drew.
Sure.
That was about all I liked from him.
Yeah. Speaking of Tomoyuki Sagano, remember how good we felt for all of 0 innings.
Well,
at least he didn't give up
he didn't get in that
a 3-run lead without getting a single out. At least that didn't happen, because that would be really disheartening if that I'm sorry, somebody's saying something in my that's exactly
what happened.
It's exactly what he did. He surrendered a 3-run lead without recording so much as a single out. So I'm trying to think of what you could get for Tomoyuki Sagano at the trade deadline. You could probably acquire the good name of the astronomer CEO. You could probably trade Tomoyuki Sagano for that.
Trade for his name?
For his reputation.
Oh, okay.
You could probably
He's got
get
a good
that.
one.
I think that has a similar trade value.
He
as
accomplished
Tomoyuki.
a lot. That seems like it would be good.
Jesus, dude.
Get some kind of international pool money as well.
Actually, that's a good bit today. We're gonna do that. What could you trade for Tomoyuki Sagano? Sure.
All right, cool.
We're going all in today.
Yeah. This is baseball season ends today.
Yeah. We're just gonna do football today. What could you trade for Tomoyuki Sagano?
Could you trade? Or you're doing the calculator? Is that
get in a trade for Tomoyuki Sagano? I'll start.
Are you asking AI? Is that what
No, I'm gonna ask Twitter and see what people on Twitter think.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe I'll do that then. I'll ask ChatGPT what the
the good name of the astronomer.
What could the Orioles
CEO? What could you get in the trade for Tomoyuki Sagano? I would like to have some fun with that today if people are up for it. I don't know if people enjoy having fun. It's a crushing.
Maybe people
time.
go outside today and they won't. Then
At least we're keeping the Grant Wolfman experience going. Jesus. You feel bad because there's no part of you. They were down 6-5. There's no part of you that thinks they were winning that game.
No.
Like, which is crazy to say because they scored 5 runs, right? Like, to say they weren't going to score again, they just don't do this. They don't do the bit where it requires, like, grit and execution, fundamentals, baseball. They just don't do those types of things. That's not really what this group is into. But my God, just watching him walk 2 guys with the bases, you're just like, sure, this is, you go, Wolfman. And by the way,
he was trying really hard.
If you're the type that's going to choose to continue to watch Orioles baseball in the coming weeks, you're going to be getting a lot more of the Grant Wolfman.
I don't know. His ERA is like 11.
I understand that, but once they trade Andrew Kittredge and Sir Anthony Dominguez, and if they can find someone to take Gregory Soto.
Well, we'll be getting more Corbin Martin, though.
That's true, and that was dynamite. That was just...
He only gave up 1 run.
He got that going for him, which is something. Hey, man. I don't know. What do we say? What do we say? They're not a good baseball team. Why would you expect them to be good? They're not.
Well, they were good the last 2 years. That's why we
They were. They were good the last 2. I always get that back. Like, I think even Ryan Ripken said something about that yesterday, where he was like, because I believe that what happened the last 2 years was real. And like, yeah, I mean, I can believe that it was real, but I don't get to pick and choose which parts of it were real. Like, if I say I believe that Adley Rutschman is a good baseball player, well, last year for half of the season he was not a good baseball player. So which part is real? Things worked out the last couple of years. Last year they went out and got Corbin Burns, and that really changed things to start the season. What was the biggest story in them winning 100 games 2 years ago? I mean, Felix Bautista having a historic season certainly had a lot to do with it. But it's fair to point out that, like, that might be the weirder one to try to figure out and understand how it occurred and go from that to this. But Anthony Santander, Cedric Mullins played far more significant roles on those teams. Austin Hayes. And the group of guys that was pushing out that group of guys. And this isn't like revisionist history. I'm not trying to pretend like, well, the Orioles would just be fine if Anthony Santander was still here, because clearly if Anthony Santander was having the season he's having in Toronto, they'd be no better. Now, that's butterfly effect stuff. Would he be having the same season in Baltimore that he's having in Toronto? I don't know.
Would he have not gotten hurt here?
Yeah, I don't know. But those guys were far more impactful for those teams. I don't really. What do you want to say? The story is for the next 9 days. 9 days? What day is today?
9 days. 22nd.
22nd, yeah. 9 days. It's the thing that we bring up yesterday. It's not, will they? They're going to trade everyone they can that's a pending free agent. The interesting stuff is, will they trade anyone else? And I can only yell and scream and posit opinions. And God, everyone gets very worked up when you talk about the idea of trading Felix Bautista. It's like you're rooting for it. I'm not rooting for it. I don't want the Orioles to trade Felix Bautista. You just have a 2025 internet brain, TikTok-riddled mind where if you discuss a topic, it means you're offering a Stephen A. Smith build a stadium in Colombia and share it between 2 cities asinine hot take.
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah. I mean, he would never say something that stupid. It's so funny that happened right after I was doing my rant about not understanding how the markets work. Like, I was doing my DMV trilogy rant. Where, like,
we've needed this for a long time.
These are the people. The people that say these things are people that have no idea how this works. And this guy's just like, hi, guy who doesn't know how things work. I want to say something. Buffoon. I don't even hate the guy because it's like the same thing I think is it. But If you can get paid that amount of money to just say nonsense things, God love you. I mean, yeah, it's hurt the country, but you don't have to worry about that when you're in your hot tub tonight. Like, why do you care about the damage that you've done to society?
L.A. and San Francisco are in the same state.
That's
Maybe
true. They could just share.
They should share. They should put a stadium right in between
great
both cities.
Why didn't anybody suggest that for the Athletics before they moved? They could have just played in, Fresno. They could have just Ontario, California.
That'd be a good one.
And been the Oakland Athletics. It's weird how that works. Christ. The dumbest people saying the dumbest things. Anyway, yeah, I'm not offering a hot take about Felix Bautista. I'm saying that if the Orioles aren't going to do what's necessary in order to get there, and what's necessary isn't to hope and to wish. It's not to do the Jack Johnson sitting, waiting, wishing thing, believe it or not. But I do believe in superstition, so we got that going for us. It's to actually do something. It's to be aggressive, be aggressive, and until I see it, it's hard for me to believe that the Orioles are going to do that. So if they're not going to do that, then the reality of running a team is reset your time. If this wasn't the time frame, we all thought it was, but if this wasn't it, then you need to reset it and figure out what it's going to be. In that way, you should trade Adley Rutschman, but you can't because he has no value. You can't trade Adley Rutschman right now, but if you're resetting your window, you should. It's one or the other. Either you're going all in and really trying, or reset the window. And I had some people yesterday who reminded me, hey, sometimes all you do have to do is get in. And, last 2 years they did get in. And remember, the Rangers, all they had to do was get in 2 years ago. Right, but the Rangers spent $250 million on baseball players. Their getting in wasn't like other teams getting in. They got in with a group that had underperformed. And then they won the World Series because they had the pitching, because they had gone out and gotten the guys. That wasn't even the offseason where they went crazy. The offseason they went crazy was the previous offseason. That was the Simeon Seager.
Yeah.
And then that offseason was the one where they went out and got the Scherzer and DeGrom and loaded up, and I think Eovaldi.
They barely even pitched. Yeah, Eovaldi was the big one.
Eovaldi was the big one.
Yeah.
They went out and they got guys. And to your point, Scherzer and DeGrom were the two that we all reacted to because they were the big names, but they weren't the ones. It was the other ones that they moved. It's crazy because you could go get an ace and get more pitching. It's wild how that works. I don't know if anybody's considered that possibility. Again, are you going to do that? Because if you are, then I sure as hell don't want you to trade away Felix Bautista. I am not rooting for trading away Felix Bautista or acknowledging that this ain't happening next year. That ain't that. But pretending like there's good reason to think it's going to happen next year, I cannot join you there. And no matter how bleeding heart, no matter how many times we scream, this team should not be trading away Felix Bautista. Okay, lay out for me the plan. Lay it out for me. Show me the roadmap to winning next year. And I know Felix Bautista has 2 more years of control. I understand that. So it doesn't have to be next year, but
that's the argument why you trade him now.
Correct.
So
you have greater value for someone that has 2 more years of control. But lay it out for me. Tell me how it's fixed next year. Because, as I pointed out yesterday, the roadmap to me is like a 10-part plan. It's all of the above. It's Adley's better, Gunner's better, Colton's better, Jackson's better. And either Kobe Mayo or Heston Kjerstad becomes a legitimate middle-of-the-order bat, or you go out and get a legitimate middle-of-the-order bat. Not Tyler O'Neill, an actual guy. Now, I don't know who that is. I don't know who would be available. But you go find that guy. And Kyle Bradish comes back and looks like Kyle Bradish. And Grayson Rodriguez pitches again at some point. And Trevor Rogers continues to be this guy, and you still go get at least one top-ish of the rotation pitcher, and you have good luck with health, and Dean Kremer is the better version of Dean Kremer, and at this point, as I know Stan Charles wrote about at PressBoxOnline.com, you go get like at least 3 leverage bullpen arms. Do you understand how many parts of the plan have to come to fruition? Because I just laid out 15. 15 parts of the plan that all have to work. Now, could it? I mean, I guess. I guess it could. I guess it could be fortified by, I mean, could Samuel Basallo become that middle-of-the-order bat that I'm talking about? I mean, maybe. Yeah. But that's an awful lot to ask of someone who's also hurt on top of everything. The Norfolk Tides are on TV today, but there will be no Samuel Basallo. I guess Adley.
Adley
I guess
Adley
will be playing.
Yeah.
Like, could he? I mean, maybe. But, like, the help isn't coming from inside. The calls aren't coming from inside the house. You're not addressing your pitching problems internally. The problems cannot be solved by Cade Povich, Chase McDermott, and Brandon Young. Which doesn't mean that I'm utterly writing them off. It means until they prove that they can actually be helpful, I cannot live in a world where I assume they can be helpful. If we do all of these things and somebody gets hurt for a couple of weeks, then we see again if Cade Povich might be a thing. But an assumption that Cade Povich is a thing, we got way too much evidence for me to continue to live in that world. Which doesn't mean it's impossible. Again, everybody lives in this binary hot take society. I'm not telling you it's impossible. I'm telling you I don't see it today. And I can't make plans that involve it. The solutions aren't internal. They have to come externally. I mean, part of the solutions are the internal players that are on the roster getting better, but like the replacements aren't there. You got to go get them. So other than that, yeah, absolutely. They're going to definitely be in World Series contention next year. And I don't say this flippantly. It doesn't make me happy. It's this, when you get worked up about the idea of trading Felix Bautista, I understand how you're feeling, but we got to be willing to have adult conversations. I didn't do this. I didn't want the Orioles to choose to not try to win the World Series this year. I thought this would be a good time to try to win a World Series. Crazy me. I thought this was the time to go try to win a World Series. I thought that's why we did all of this, is to tear it down and then get a core and then, build around that core. I thought that was how this worked. Shame on me, right? Egg on my face. But to pretend that it's still what it was a year ago, I can't do that either.
To answer then the question that Ryan was posing, then would you, so you don't want to trade any of Rogers, Kremer, Bautista?
Do I want to? No, I don't want to.
If they did, though, which one?
Do I think the practicality could be that this is just the way that it works?
Like they're the A's now, and you get 2 to 3 years of a player, and then
I don't know if the A's are the right comparison. I think the Rays are still the closer comparison.
Well, maybe the A's when they had a stadium. I mean,
Yeah, but like the Rays, it's the constant identify when you have the most value in someone and get the most value out of it. And there's a part of me that believes that's kind of like Mike Elias gets excited by that.
Right.
Like, I'm the guy who figured out when this player had the most value. Now, is he good at it? To this point, Probably not.
Well, and I guess he wants to, because everyone's making a big deal about Mark Atanasio. Is that he's the Brewers GM? And and everybody, because the Brewers have the best record in baseball at the moment,
Right.
so everyone's praising them for being like, well, they traded Devin Williams, they traded Corbin Burns, they traded Willie Adames, and they lost Craig Counsell, and they're still the best team in baseball. And so
I mean, it probably deserves a fair amount of credit for that. I'd have to think about, certainly finding the Miz helps, and I don't think that was. How did they get him? He was a draft pick, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
The Miz.
I do think that certain general managers, that's just they think it's almost there's no art to just spending money. Why would I do that? That requires no skill or talent. Just giving out big contracts.
He was a high school pitcher they drafted in 22.
Where did they draft him? What was the
second round, 63rd overall.
So that's a pretty good find.
Yeah.
Pretty decent. Hope Joseph Zerwa. Zerwa, is that what it is? I don't know. I hope he's the next Miz. I hope that's the way that it works out. I hate that every time we do this, it just sounds like this. It's just what else there is there. What do you want me to do? Pretend like things are fun?
Okay, well, so then would you rather trade Felix or would you rather trade Kremer? And
yeah, I know that was
Rogers?
I understood. The argument is, yes, it's easier to find a reliever than it is to find a starting pitcher. Then the flip side argument is, right, but Felix Bautista is better than those guys are at what they do. You're going to need starters. I know. That's a real. You could bring that up tomorrow when it's Would You Rather Wednesday and we do dumb hypotheticals. Bring that up then. Relish Daddy, I believe you're incorrect. Relish Daddy said you could trade Tomo Sagano for a 12-pack of Natty Light and a bag of Utz potato chips in any variety other than crab chip.
I was thinking Utz chips as well.
This is the thing. That's way more value than Tomo Sagano has. And, don't get me wrong, crab chips are a great Utz chip, but, you're still giving me the fried pickle chips as an option because, with respect, fried pickle chips are the number 1 seed of the Utz chips.
Are they really?
I would go the Utz salt and pepper is a winner, too.
Is it the one? Is it the black bag? The black and white?
Yeah, that one's a good one.
I don't know if I've had those.
That
actually.
one's a good one. No, you have missed even our friend Ivan says probably a few gift cards to Bed Bath & Beyond in Party City. I know that's the bit because Party City is closed, but aren't there still technically a couple Party City locations?
I think there's one in Westminster. At least there was.
I believe there are still a couple of Party City locations that have. I know they're closed. The ones that were in the Baltimore central area, I believe, have closed. But I think there might still be a couple locations.
There was one in Westminster that was open for
Party City locations still.
There's one in Owings Mills. It looks like.
That one didn't close too.
According to my phone,
there are apparently
exists.
still 29 Party
City
stores in 7 states that are open. So no, I'm sorry. That's too much value. You're not going to be able to get that.
When Westminster closed as well.
Yeah. All the ones in the area closed, but there are still 29 locations that remain open. So, no. Did Bed Bath & Beyond all close? Did I miss that? Is that because if that's still a chain, I'm going to completely disagree. If we find out that's still a chain you can go to, Bed Bath & Beyond has some great stuff, man.
They filed for bankruptcy in April 2020.
But did they close everything?
It looks like they're on their way to doing that. I can't tell if are there any Bed Bath & Beyond still open?
No stores are currently open. All right, take it back.
Sad.
Take it back. That is about the value that you can get for Tomo Sagano. You are correct on that, Ivan. You are correct.
Maybe like a Blockbuster.
Maybe. Coming up later on in the program, we are going to start shifting. Technically, training camp gets underway today, although there's no practice today. Today, I believe it's just players reporting, and then the first practice is tomorrow, veterans, because the rookies already reported. So we will start shifting towards Ravens conversation later on in the program. Chris Bumbaca from USA Today, he wrote about Lamar Jackson this week. Seth Walder from ESPN, they did a piece about who has the best starting lineup in the NFL, and they went with the Baltimore Ravens, so we will talk to him, their analytics guru, about that. Our buddy Qadry Ismail in just 1 second. Today's show is brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. You see me rocking the Live Casino and Hotel poker hat, as I have mesmerized by how unbelievable the poker room is at Live Casino and Hotel. It's just an incredible machine, man. And there's always great giveaways and contests going on in there. If you've never checked out the poker room at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, I would encourage you to do that today. All right. At some point, I have no doubt that when I do wander out to Owings Mills during the course of training camp, I'll end up bumping into our next guest. He'll remind me that I'm looking skinny fat and that I could improve that, and then he'll acknowledge that I probably never am, and this is just the life that I'm cursed to. All right, choose anyway. Joining us now, you see him on WJZ. He is Mr. Qadry Ismail, Super Bowl 35 champion, and he's back with us now here on GCR. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Well, that was a hell of an opening. I appreciate it. I will also say every time I see you, I am happy to see you. I do not judge you by your appearance like it is some sort of fashion show.
Right, I believe that.
No, don't cut it, brother, off.
Okay.
No, you had your opening monologue. I got to get mine. See, that's how it goes in the world of back and forth entertainment. We know the drill. You had your opening monologue. It's good. It was a good one. It was solid. That's why you're Glenn Clark. Now it's time to have your guest do his rebuttal opening monologue. Then we'll get into the football. So, as we pontificate on all things Ravens and such in NFL, I was just merely saying that, no, when I see you, I am genuinely happy to see you. I am genuinely like, wow, hey, Glenn, what's going on? Last time you had your crew with you, your beautiful family, and I just was like, when it comes to being skinny fat, it's not about judging you like, oh my gosh, you're skinny fat, look at me. No, we all have our stuff that we go through, but the accountability of you trying to be the absolute best version of you can be, so your crew that is looking at you for guidance in this crazy world of ours, they will be sitting there saying, yeah, that's my dad, what's up? And longevity is your number one priority. Because if you got good longevity, number one priority, you now are sitting there saying to yourself, my kids, they will help themselves be the best version of them that they can be. And so therefore the legacy of Glenn shall forever go forth into the land. And that is my opening monologue.
I love you, man. And I need you to know, I never feel judged. I genuinely believe that you want the best version of me, that you want better for me. That's what I believe about you, Qadry Ismail. All right, hey, speaking of kids, how's Vegas?
My crew, they're doing extremely well. I am as a father, you just want your family to do well and kids to be happy and accept the stressors and challenges of life that we all face and that you can overcome. So yeah, the elephant in the room that I know that from a sports aspect of things, I don't necessarily need to tell my adult kids' family business, but I've been admonished about that. But as far as Qadry, he's here in Las Vegas. I know that his NFL journey is been a wonderful one so far. It's been a strong start. He was obviously with the Ravens last year, went on to their practice squad, really overcame a lot and just showed that he belongs on that stage. Had a small setback with his foot. He had to go on IR, and from there, the Ravens and him and the business side of things in the front office, they were hemming and hawing, and in the hemming and hawing stage, they meeting the Las Vegas Raiders was like, hey, why don't you come over here for a second and try out and see what we got? And he did, and they were instantly impressed, and one thing leads to another, and now he's heading into training camp with a strong potential opportunity to either make their 53-man or be on their practice squad and continue his NFL journey. So he's doing really well.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. Continue to root for him and continue to root for all of you. We love that. Back home, obviously training camp gets underway for the Baltimore Ravens. And Qadry, it's a very difficult conversation because the singular storyline that exists for the Ravens is, will this be the year they finally break through in the playoffs and get to and win a Super Bowl? And we won't know that answer until, then. I ask, between now and when they start playing games, what's most interesting to you? What do you have the most interest in seeing from this group that maybe can start to get to that point to try to finally make this the year they break through?
Well, I think this is probably the best John Harbaugh roster in the Lamar Jackson era. Offense, defense, special teams, although Tyler Loop and whomever else he's going to be competing with, I think that's the big elephant in the room. But outside of that, you look at this roster. I mean, it's loaded, it's strong, it's all that. This isn't one where you sit back and think, well, we need a piece here or a piece there. No, I think from Eric Costa doing what he does as far as building the roster from the draft to obviously homegrown talent that has come to fruition, that are sitting on contracts that could potentially be big paydays for individuals, to obviously the megastar alpha that's in the room in Lamar Jackson. And so I think the coaching staff, as far as the assistants, that's in place. Obviously, Chuck Pagano really brings an extremely strong cachet to a secondary that should be one of the defense's strengths. And, yeah, in my mind, this training camp is going to be John Harbaugh's opus. If he can literally navigate through it with priority number one being health, and then from there going into the regular season with clarity of thought as a head coach. How do I push the right buttons for each week, each team, each moment? How do I handle and put out small fires that they don't become big ones? Those are all the things that are going to be falling on his plate that is really critical, and we've seen it. Obviously the Nick Siriannis of the world, the Andy Reids of the world, they've done it, so it's not like it can't be done. But I think this, for us Raven fans, the fan base, this is what every year we've been looking at, just the magnificence of Lamar Jackson. But I think this is where, the team period is stacked. What is it that John Harbaugh is going to do to facilitate and keep everything, rolling along, because, hey, it's Super Bowl or bust. That's the bottom line.
There's no doubt about that. Qadry Ismail with us here on GCR. Qadry, obviously a year ago, it took the defense a little while to get going, but by the time it did, it turned out to be one of the better units in the NFL. I mean, is there any reason to be concerned after a year of Zach Orr and now bringing in Chuck Pagano kind of to take over that Dean Pease role? Like, should we just assume that you add in a Jair Alexander, Chidobe Awuzie, and a couple of draft picks? Like, should we just assume that this defense picks up where it left off a year ago and there shouldn't be the growing pains that they had last season?
Well, I don't see why they shouldn't. I mean, you name those two veteran names, Chidobe Awuzie and obviously Jair Alexander. That's great, but I think the TJ Tampas of the world and the Nate Wiggins, obviously he had a really amazing rookie year, but I think those guys are looking to grow and not sit back and say, well, I got these veterans, that's all. No, I'm saying that this is where the navigating of health comes in through training camp. And also I think guys know that the Marlon Humphreys of the world, when he's coming out saying, hey, if you want to make a Super Bowl run, you gotta make stops in the postseason, and you gotta turn over the football. You gotta be a disruptive defense. And so whether it be the Tom Brady era of his defenses when he first did it, or even when Peyton Manning was with the Denver Broncos and Von Miller and company, they were out there balling. The Mile High Miracle, of course, but I digress. But when you see this, the Legion of Boom, when it comes to Seattle, when you see this with great offenses, that's all well and good regular season. But man, you want to punch your ticket. You better bring it with defense. And I think that's something that where Marlon Humphreys is trying to say, hey, we need to be like, what we have already homegrown, which is the 2000 Ravens defense, which set the standard of all standards. And so anytime a veteran player, the likes of Marlon, is talking like that, that tells me there's accountability, there is talent to match that accountability. And I think from a coaching staff aspect of things, I think that, now it's about, guys just being on the same page and not having a Marcus Williams effect.
Qadry, if there's one area of concern on this roster, it is probably special teams. And, clearly the Ravens went through the issues they went through when Justin Tucker was on the field. Now they're going to turn things over likely to Tyler Loop. They will have a competition, but how long of a rope do you give a rookie kicker? I mean, we've seen it work both ways, right, in Ravens history, where it worked out really well with Justin Tucker, not nearly as well with Stephen Hauschka was the guy they gave the shot to before that. How long of a rope do you give to a young kicker when you're trying to win a Super Bowl?
So the kicking element is twofold, and I remember having this conversation with Justin Tucker when he was a rookie, and Billy Cundiff and him were going back and forth, and when we were down in was it the Naval Academy and the Ravens had their open practice. They were sitting there, going at it and the whole 9 yards, and Jerry Rosberg and all the things they were talking about, this technique that Justin had to master, which was the straight kick. The straight kick versus the fade or the draw for the golf aficionados is just the way the ball curves in the air. But the path of the swing, the foot placement onto the ball is very similar to a golf club face and club path. And so with that said, that's what I'm saying, that Justin eliminated that, and he
Qadry, we still got you? All right, we'll see if we can't figure out what's going on with Qadry, and we'll wrap that up. Qadry Ismail is with us here on a Tuesday morning on a Tuesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. As we're doing a lot of Ravens this morning, and we'll try to reconnect with Qadry and finish that thought about kicking and where they are. And we'll try one more time. Qadry, you were talking about that conversation you were having with Justin Tucker back in Annapolis.
Yeah, so I was just saying that the way in which Justin's technique changed the way kickers kick today. It's ubiquitous that they kick the ball straight. They don't have a path that is a draw path or a fading type path to the field goal uprights. And so with that, I think for Tyler, if he is going to make it and be consistent, if he can do that, he has a long snapper and he has a holder that has been through the fire with one of the greatest kickers to ever do it. And so if they can glean or share, I should say, and he glean that information from them, now it's about you between your ears going out there and making kicks. I think us as a fan base, we're so spoiled with the sustained excellence of Justin. I mean, those are big. That's big shoes to fill. You're going to feel the energy in the stadium. But after training camp, man, I think if there was a joint practice session of practice that you would definitely not want to miss, it's field goal and PAT block. I think that's funny and as laissez-faire as it usually used to be, I think that is going to be the biggest, like, whoa, what is going on? Because that's the pressure that he's going to be feeling from another team that you can't necessarily feel from your own team. But I think if he can accomplish that, I think it'll go a long way for his psyche as he prepares himself to get into the regular season.
And then, Qadry, I just want to wrap with a thought about DeAndre Hopkins, because I'll do hits on other places, and I'll hear things like, well, what could the Ravens really expect from DeAndre Hopkins? And my thought is, like, well, they can expect that maybe he can be Odell Beckham from 2 years ago, or better than Nelson Aguilar. Like, I don't know how much you can expect from DeAndre Hopkins at this point, but again, I don't think that you're asking for a ton from DeAndre Hopkins. Is it unreasonable to think that he can make an occasional big catch and still be a decent target in the red zone at this point in his career?
Yeah, I don't know, because yes, we get caught up in the name and the resume, but Father Time is undefeated.
Yep.
And so you get the little chinks in the armor with yourself. Whether it be, offensive lineman can't block as well, or just doesn't have the speed to, strike a defender, or defender who, used to be able to run off the edge and boy, get to the quarterback now. It's like, or, if it's a receiver, and we've seen plenty of receivers, Deshaun Jackson comes to mind as far as when he was here with the Ravens and trying to figure all that out. Obviously, Dez Bryant and heck, Deshaun or, D-Hop, he is next on the plate to see if he is the guy that got the stuff to be the Steve Smith Sr., or if he's the guy that's like, well, Dez Bryant was, hey, at least he scored a touchdown and got one. Oh, good for him. We don't know. Training camp, it doesn't really matter because he's a veteran, so who cares as far as what he does in training camp? It's just the regular season for him. That to me says what's what. And we're not going to know until we see how it all shakes out and how they use him. And the only way they're going to use him is by him showing them that he can be used in certain circumstances, and he's going to deliver.
Qadry, let's plug missile training.
Yeah, missile training. If you want to check out human movement and sports performance in a more powerful, polished way, rather than just going to train and work out and feel like, I got better, but technically all you did was got tired. Anybody can get you tired, but can they make you better? Check out missiletraining.com. That's where you can interact with me and get started to a better way, in a more efficient, durable, stronger way to move.
You still going to be in Vegas this week? I'm headed out to Vegas this weekend. You want to go see Beyonce, something like that?
No. I'm all gas, no brakes when it comes to focusing in on the main thing. The main thing is the main thing. We keep the main thing. I'm going out to the Raiders facility. I'm watching Raider Nation, and I'm watching practice, and I'm seeing how Qadry goes up against Max Crosby, because he already got it on film that homeboy was handling his own. So I want to see it now with the pads on and all the things. And yeah, so you go ahead, do Beyonce. I'm going to do like the Raiders and all the madness that is the Raiders. And then I'm going to fly back home, and then I'm going to go ahead and check out the Ravens and all of that entails.
I will see you when I get back then in Owings Mills at some point this August. Appreciate you, brother. Love you. Thanks for taking the time for us as always, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
It's Qadry Ismail with us here on GCR. Appreciate him taking the time. And these are kind of the things that we're going to be doing for a couple of weeks, because there's unless someone gets hurt. And, hey, but someone's going to get hurt. That's just the way that football works. I guess we should say until someone gets hurt, and then we'll have a different topic on our hands. This is the reality of the faces of the Ravens. I was on VSiN with the guys last week, and it's our buddy Jeff Schwartz, and I'm like, I don't know, man. It's kind of boring. It's a singular topic. Will they win the Super Bowl? That's what we got. You could say the most compelling conversation surrounding the Ravens is, do they have a kicker? That's the most compelling Ravens topic there is. You can try to force it a little bit with left guard, but until we see anything that suggests that it's not Andrew Voorhees, it's Andrew Voorhees, and it's just a question of whether or not he's going to be good enough. You want to try to force it with Trenton Simpson a little bit. Like, will he solidify the position that he didn't really solidify a year ago? Like, those are the two areas where you could kind of squint and force interesting topics. But they're forced. The topics are, do they have a kicker? Will they win the Super Bowl? Until someone gets hurt or until something goes wrong. Like a year ago, the defense went wrong. If something were to go wrong, then we'll address that then. But at this moment, that's what we got. And we'll continue to discuss it. That's what we'll do. It's more pleasant than discussing, do you have a window for the next few years and should you trade away the good players? It's a more pleasant conversation than that. Stan the Fan Charles, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson, they got together yesterday. If you missed it, find it right now, facebook.com/PressBoxSports, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan's show is brought to you by the Costa Sin and the all-new Costa Sin, now open at the Grandstand in Timonium. We come back in. We'll go over another big win at Trivia last night.
Oh, wow. You guys need a new league.
Back-to-back weeks, big wins. And also we're going to talk to Seth Walder from ESPN. That's on the way. Glenn Clark Radio.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at DriveEasyMD.com.
Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses make golf fun and affordable. All 5 local courses, Pine Ridge, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Clifton Park, are challenging and fun for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time today at classic5golf.com.
Summer just got a whole lot merrier at Live Casino. Win your share of $30,000 during Christmas in July. Earn entries starting July 1st. Dash in on Saturday, July 26th to be one of 50 winners to unwrap top-of-the-line electronics, home appliances, free play, and other great gifts. Go all in on good cheer at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the first ever Baltimore basketball player to reach the Naismith Hall of Fame as we talk to those who knew Carmelo Anthony best about how his Baltimore upbringing shaped his legendary career. Also inside, Bo Smoka profiles Ravens second-round pick Mike Green, and find our annual summer travel section with information on some of the best sporting events and activities in Maryland that your family can check out all summer long. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
There was quite the scene at Trivia last night. The question goes like this. Besides his current album, I can't remember the name of it, but hang on a second, I'll tell you. Besides his current album, I'm the Problem.
Oh, okay.
What 2 Morgan Wallen albums are also currently in the Billboard Top 10? It was a question of trivia last night. Now, we went 0 for 2. We went
darn.
0 for 2. We guessed.
Yeah, I could have really helped, I think.
You think? You think you got him?
It's probably like God's Country.
That's not a bad guess.
And his current one's Album The Problem. So that means,
it's Me High.
Whiskey Drinking.
Whiskey Drinking seems like a good one. We knew he had a song called Last Night, so we went with Last Night. Yeah. We thought that might be one. And we went with a self-titled album. We went with Morgan Wallen.
That's a
good guess, right? It's a good guess. We went 0 for 2. And then we heard this announcement. And this is an antisocial, no one in the bar got the name of one Morgan Wallen album. And I swear to God, I've never seen anything more beautiful. We all erupted in rapturous applause. I've never been more proud to be around. Nope, I've never been more proud to be around a group. Some people say, like, American pride is down. That's not true. In Timonium, American pride is sky high because we are so proud to live in a place where no one in the bar could name a goddamn Morgan Wallen album. I've never been happier to be around a group of people in my life.
I can't believe I can't name a Morgan Wallen album.
I guess I've never been more proud of you.
Because I like Morgan Wallen songs, unlike
God.
you. But I do like some
Why?
of the songs. Well, because they're good.
No, they're not.
Because they're catchy.
They're definitely not. And if they are, they're no more catchy than every other crap pop country song that's ever been made.
Exactly.
There you go.
So I like crap.
They are
pop
all
country.
as forgettable as the rest. There's actually been some good pop country over the years. This ain't
like Post Malone, yeah.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Well, then
unfortunately, the sports questions last night were this was a dog. Name the Orioles' lone All-Star representative this year.
Ooh, who it should have been, or
I think that was a social. I think everybody got Ryan O'Hearn.
Ryan Brohern.
Name the
dangerous. Yeah, that's
sure.
I should have known.
Sure, if you say so. I don't even remember what the name of the other one was.
I
do remember.
Is it If I Knew Me?
I remember Dangerous was.
They
one
should
of them.
what she should have done is she should have read everybody else's answers. And
this was a dude this week. There was a fill-in for this week. She was not there. Oh yeah, I would love to know because I suggested suggested we write country F-head as one of our answers. But we do like to see if we can't stumble our way accidentally into answers sometimes. So yeah, we went with Morgan Wallen, and again last night because of the name of a song. It's a lot of people name albums after a song on the album.
One thing at a time, I assume, is the other one.
Maybe if you say so. I could not possibly tell you. So anyway, the other sports question from last night was, as of last week, what 2 players have $100 million in career earnings on the PGA Tour?
So prior to last week.
As of last week.
Oh, okay.
That's just the way that it was written.
2 active players.
What 2 players have $100 million in career earnings on the PGA Tour?
Okay, so from
I would tell you that
PGA.
Yeah.
And so it could be anyone. It could be the very first golfer ever that won.
I apparently it could be any. Yeah, I guess it could be anybody.
Okay, so now it's making it sound like it's not Tiger.
You know what's weird? I got some questions about someone whose name is not on this list. But go ahead.
Okay, so $200 million in career earnings. I mean, no, it's like, well, he's won every one of the last couple majors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the value's at the highest. I will go. I feel like I gotta say Tiger just because of how many he's won. I'll go Tiger and Scotty.
Tiger Woods, number 1 all time, 120 million.
Do it.
It's 999,000. So he's basically 121 million. Scotty Scheffler,
Yes.
$90.996 million in career earnings. Scotty Scheffler, number 4.
Oh, wow.
All-time in career earnings. Rory McIlroy is indeed number 2. I was between Rory McIlroy and Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson is 3rd all-time with $96.7 million in career PGA Tour earnings. I bet he feels stupid for running off. He would have been an answer at trivia last night if he just hadn't ran away. But we did go with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, so we did get it. There was a hell of a question last week. God, I meant to give it to Grant because he is a baseball person, and I just forgot to. Given the name of the player who holds the all-time record for this stat, give the name of the player he passed in order to break the record. Number 1, Barry Bonds and home runs.
Hank Aaron.
Of course. Number 2, Ricky Henderson and stolen bases. I actually didn't get, I screwed this up. I'll explain in a minute, but
yeah, you failed. Yeah,
I did. I screwed up.
Oh man.
I gave the name of the person he surpassed for the single season stolen base record, not the
career.
And as soon as I'm like, oh my god, I just flipped the two of them around.
Yikes! I don't know if I know who did he surpass for the stolen base career record. So what year did Ricky pass? So do I get that information? I don't get that information.
No, you didn't get that information.
Not Craig Biggio.
Just say you don't know. And
Biggio.
It's not Craig Biggio. Lou Brock.
Lou Brock,
of course, whose brother was famously Venom. Everybody knows that.
Eddie Brock.
Yeah. Pete Rose for hits. I said Maury Wills, by the way.
Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb was the all-time hits leader, and Nolan Ryan for strikeouts.
Koufax?
Not Sandy. Sandy Koufax had a very short career.
No. Nolan Ryan strikeouts.
Mm-hmm. So you would have gone 2 for 4, which is better than a lot of people in the bar. But I did go 3 for 4.
Obviously not Randy. Walter Johnson.
Walter Johnson is indeed the correct answer. Walter Johnson. So if you had written down Johnson thinking it was Randy, you would have accidentally gotten it right because you would have gotten Walter Johnson. Yes, Walter Johnson was the career record. So you career strikeout record. So you did pretty well.
Yeah,
pretty well. Got that on your second try and missed the one that you missed 2 of them, but it's still you did pretty well there. That's not bad. That's a tough. I love that question. I was like, this is not the ones last night. I mean, the golf one was fine, other than the Tiger Woods is just so obvious that what are we doing? But the Orioles one was embarrassing. That was an embarrassing question.
Should have said who were the 4 All-Stars from, or however many they had in 2023.
In 2023?
Yeah. I believe it was 4.
2023, so Adley.
I believe that's right.
God. In 2023. Jesus. Felix Bautista.
Yes. It was 4, so 2 more. They had 6 last year. Sorry, 5 last year.
There were 2 more in 2023. That wasn't Santander was last year.
Correct. Santander was last year.
Oh God. Was that the year Cano made it?
Year Cano, yes.
Oh my God. I don't know why I'm not. Was it Cedric?
Not Cedric. No. Cedric only a one-time All-Star.
And it wasn't Gunnar. Gunnar.
It was not Gunnar.
Yeah, I didn't think so. That's why I said it wasn't Gunnar. All right, who was it?
He got slated in to start after, I don't know, I think there was some outfield. I think Kyle Tucker was injured, so Austin
Hayes. Yeah, he did get off to a crazy start that year.
Austin
That's
Hayes,
true.
Yennier Cano, Felix Bautista, and Adley Rutschman.
Yeah, that would have been a better question. For sure, that would have been a better question. That wouldn't have been nearly as embarrassing. And I think it was the first. No, was it? It might. I don't know. It was just embarrassing. It was an embarrassing question. Embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Hour number 1 of today's show is in the books. It was also brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. You're a man of a certain age. You just don't feel like you felt when you were 27. And there's no magic cure, but there is help, whether you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, stubborn belly fat that won't come off, or just feeling sluggish and run down. You can get a complimentary testosterone test. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com and sign up. Perhaps peptide treatment is what you need. And if that's the case, then I'm telling you it's worked for me. I was not low T. I was just feeling sluggish. I was feeling run down. They put me on peptide proteins, and it has helped. It's hard to explain, but I feel better when I go play Sunday night tennis. I feel better when I wake up in the morning. It's just been an overall good thing. Give them a call, Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, 443-264-4454. In Columbia, 443-266-3505. Or if you are out west in Fred Rock, 240-931-3717 for Game Day Men's Health. All right, with training camp getting underway, a little more Ravens conversation this morning. And, we like to complain about certain lists that are made. There's nothing to complain about this one. The stats folks over at ESPN, the brains, if you will, over at ESPN, they put together a ranking of the top starting lineups in the NFL, and they've got it number 1. Your Baltimore Ravens joining us now. ESPN analytics guru. He is Mr. Seth Walder, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Seth, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
Hey, happy to be here. Happy to talk some football.
It's nice because I'm sure every other city that's calling you is like, "What the hell, Walder?" And we're just like, "Dude, you guys are genius."
That is exactly right. That is exactly right. When you do one of these 1 through 32s, you always get one group that's happy with you.
That's the way it works, right? And everybody else is furious, despite the fact that you literally say they have the second best starting lineup in the NFL. For what it's worth, if I'm being truthful, I probably would have put Philadelphia at number 1, but that's what it is.
Can I tell you something? Can
yeah.
I confess? This is a group project, and the way we do it is we each individually make our own ranks, and then we put it together. And I'm not gonna lie, I had Baltimore at 2. I had Philly 1, Baltimore 2.
I can't blame you for that at all. To me, this makes sense if you are outweighing quarterback, right? Like if you if you weigh the positions and say quarterback is a more important position, then I think the Ravens would have the edge. But if all positions are created equal, I do think the Eagles have the better overall. There's a reason why the Eagles did what they did a year ago, right? Like they are insanely loaded at basically every position.
Yes. When you look at the Eagles, it's like, I was just talking to someone the other day. It's like when you try and find their weakness, it's like, they have 2 guys battling for 1 guard spot, and they have 2 guys battling for the 3rd corner. But that's really it, and there's just strength after strength. So, yes, it does come down to, and there's no magic, like, how much do you weigh quarterback? It does. That does. When we talk about Baltimore, we talk about this comes down the board, right? Kansas City or Cincinnati. It's like those are if we treat them just equally, then they would fall down. Clearly, quarterback is moving them up, and certainly for Baltimore, yes, like they have a good roster. If we treated them all equally, I'm with you. Philly would be ahead, but certainly because of Lamar Jackson, I think that's why. As collectively, we gave the Ravens number 1.
I understand that. Let me ask you about, because as you all point out, the biggest area of weakness for the Ravens as far as the starters go is at guard. And I don't think I could disagree with that. Maybe we could say that Trenton Simpson's got to prove that he's ready to be a starter, and last year it didn't go so great. But I think I would tend to agree. how concerned are you about the guards? Or do you say, hey, like Faalele's good enough that they can get by with that as long as you point out, Ronnie Stanley stays healthy, as long as the rest of the line holds up the way we expect it to? Or given the fact that they're now replacing another starting guard, like, is there more of a concern there?
No, I'm actually not that concerned. I think, I think like he was pretty solid in our numbers last year. I'm trying to pull it up, but really not that bad. So from a pass protection standpoint, and so and I know, so and really the other thing that comes down to is like if you can have two good tackles and a good center, you can get away with just like at guard, like from a pass protection standpoint. And that's the most important thing here, right? You want to keep Lamar Jackson on his feet. I think that even if it's not perfect, yeah, there's question marks at those spots, but I think they can get away with it there as long as, like you said, Stanley stays healthy.
Right.
It's one of the reasons why I put Stanley as the X factor.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't, now you flip this, and it's like now you're looking at maybe 2 to 3 question marks on the offensive line, and things change real fast.
Right. And then, by the way, who is your backup? I guess you're swinging Roger Rosengarten over and asking him to play left tackle at that point, and that, that's a heavy ask as well as someone who hasn't done that in the NFL. So, yeah, I think that's a fair thing. That the depth on the offensive line probably is a little bit more of a concern, but the starting group is about right. We were just talking about this with someone else. Like, it's weird because we're going into a year in Baltimore where the single biggest question mark about the football team is their kicker. And that's, it's been an awfully long time since that's been the concern that we've had in Baltimore, Seth.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Yes. Yeah, that's right. I don't have any Tyler Loop analytics yet, but
you don't have any deep data dives on Tyler Loop to offer.
Not yet.
Yeah, oh no, we'll get there. I have no doubt that that's true, but that's the reality. I guess let me go back, Seth. The concerns, if there were a year ago, it took them a while to get things going defensively, based on what we saw in the second half of the season. And that you can assume naturally that with a first-year coordinator that it might take some time to get things sorted out. Bringing in Jair Alexander, Chidobe Awuzie, investing a couple of draft picks in Malachi Starks and Mike Green, should we assume that this defense should be able to kind of pick up where they left off a year ago? They shouldn't have to go through the growing pains they went through last year.
I'm going to break my own rules here and say yes, and I'll explain what I mean by that. One of the traps that I really try and avoid falling into are two things. One, over-assuming that what a defense shows last year is what we're going to get this year. And two, overly buying into what happens in the second half of a season as opposed to the first half of a season and assuming that it's just the second half that's going to carry over. Those are like big traps that we fall into all the time as analysts, and I really do work hard to not make that mistake. But I do think this situation is different. I think it's because of a couple of the reasons why that you mentioned. Firstly, new coordinator. I think it is reasonable to say, like a new coordinator last year I'm talking about, it is reasonable to have that kind of growing pains. And I think we saw, a clear change made in the second half of the year. The way they used Kyle Hamilton was different. And that helped spur on a lot of success for the team in that way. But I also think that it is some of the depth at cornerback is almost ridiculous at this point. I think Nate Wickens really had a kind of a sneaky nice rookie season. I would feel pretty bullish about him. And then you're bringing in guys like Chidobe Awuzie is a solid corner. I mean, he might be is he your fourth best corner on this team? Is he, maybe. And so I think that there is a lot of reasons to be pretty bullish about that defense, even though it does scare me to ignore that first half because that first half wasn't
it was
pretty.
Awful.
So it is a dangerous game to play, but I am buying Baltimore's defense.
And I guess, again, we could probably point out that up front they're not quite as deep as some recent Ravens teams have been. So it's probably an area that it's maybe a similar conversation we said about the offensive line, right? Like an injury or two, and then you're having a different conversation about it. But, again, on paper, it certainly seems like they have enough right now that they should be okay up front.
Yes, I think so. And, I think there's been so many years where I've looked at Baltimore's defense, though, and you felt like, oh, they're going to, who's going to really get the sacks, right?
Yeah.
But then they get it done, and so I'm not falling for, I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Oh, look, man, they pulled Kyle Van Noy off the scrap heap 2 years ago, and he turned out to be a freaking revelation in this city. Like, just unlike anything you could have ever imagined. And, we've all had questions about Odafe Owe, right? Like, I think a year, 2 years ago, we were willing to write off Odafe Owe as a bust, and then he goes out and puts together a double-digit sack season last year. And so now you find yourself saying, like, maybe he is the guy. Like, I don't know. I can't write it off either. Offensively, one of the conversations we've had this offseason a lot, Seth, is I'll do these hits in other cities, and I'll have people say, like, I'm a regular on a radio show in Kansas City with my buddy Seren Petro. He does this Spanning the Globe segment.
Oh, sure.
And
I go on his show.
And it's great. I love Seren, one of my closest friends in this business. And Seren, and I understand why, he was in Kansas City where things did not work out with DeAndre Hopkins, and kind of question why it is the Ravens would run that risk. And I just sort of found myself saying, because there's no expectations here. Like, he doesn't have to be much of – it's the same thing that we're talking about with, like, Chidobe Awuzie as your fourth wide or your fourth cornerback. I think they're in a good spot with DeAndre Hopkins, that this is what you should be looking for from him at this point in his career, where he could still presumably be helpful in the red zone, maybe make a couple of big catches every now and then, but you don't need a lot from him in this offense.
Yes, I would. I mean, what was it? It was 1 year, $5 million, I think, if I recall. I mean, I agree. Hopkins is nothing remotely close to the player he once was. And if they had signed him for real money, I would have been critical. But at that price, for the role he's going to have, yeah, sure. I mean, there's going to be a couple of games he's going to come through. He's going to be, a contested catch kind of player for you that maybe complements the other receivers you have. I mean, I would love him to, I think ideally you want him to be your 4, right? So maybe can you get one of the young guys to step up a little bit more? And so Hopkins is the guy that gets the 4th most snaps. I think that's in an ideal world, that's what you want. But
you also have a lot of tight ends to feed too.
It's a great point, right? If like in a way, he's your maybe your 5th best target right now, right? Going in after the 2 tight ends. So that's a fair point. So yes, for the role he has, I'm on board with that. I would not have huge expectations, but there's going to be a couple of moments this year where he helped out.
And by the way, that's what Odell Beckham was 2 years ago, and that worked out for the Baltimore Ravens. You could say they overpaid him, but they overpaid him because they needed to get Lamar Jackson signed. So that was the caveat to make that happen. But for what he actually provided, he was helpful, and that's all they need from DeAndre Hopkins. I'll bring up the tight ends just because eternally it feels like we keep waiting for it to be the year where, like, Isaiah Likely shows everyone he's a star, which we all know he has the ability to be, but there's only so many targets to go around in a Ravens offense. Do you feel like, given that Mark Andrews is they're both pending free agents, and presumably you're committing to Isaiah Likely, do you feel like this is the year we start to see more of an ascent for Isaiah Likely that might be relevant for, say, like fantasy football players?
Yeah, probably, but it's like I don't think that. Yes, I think the short answer is probably yes, but I mean it's not like Andrews. I'm looking right now at we have something called receiver scores, which measures a receiver's ability to get open, make the catch, generate yak, all relative to expectations using player tracking data, and Andrews and Likely are both in the top 4 last year in those measures. So what I mean is Andrews is older. I think we would expect Likely to ascend. Maybe Andrews, he starts to come back to earth, come down a little bit as he gets, as he ages. It's not like he's he's not like he's really particularly old. I mean, what is 29, right? Yeah. So it'll be 30. Okay, 30 in September. So, yeah, I think, yes, I do think we'll see a little more from Likely this year, but they're just sort of blessed with two really good tight ends.
Yeah, this is the eternal good problem to have, right? Like, this is
Right.
the way that it works. Seth, all of this sounds great. Everybody's very happy, and you're the most popular man in town today. But none of it answers that. It's funny because we're shifting into more and more Ravens right now, and I keep saying it's also kind of boring because there really is one conversation. It's the only conversation that matters when it comes to the Ravens, which is, are they finally going to do it in the playoffs? And for everything we say, for as great as the roster is, I think it might be the best group that they've ever had even in the Lamar Jackson era where they've had some good teams. I think this is but I still don't know the answer to that question. I still, until we get there, there's nothing to me that can tell us whether or not this will finally be the year that they break through.
There is so much randomness to some degree in the postseason, and you're just putting yourself in a position to go on a run. And honestly, I think about this a lot. Going into last postseason, we did not talk about Philadelphia as being this juggernaut that could not be stopped, right? That was not how we viewed them. If there was any team, I think, that I felt that way about going into last postseason, it was Baltimore. And I think there is very much a world, if Mark Andrews just holds on to that ball, where we are coming in now and everyone's acting like, well, of course the Ravens won the Super Bowl. Look at that team. They're stacked, and that's to support Lamar Jackson. And so, I know that doesn't quite answer the question because some of it is luck, but all you can do is put yourself in a position to be one of the very best teams in the postseason. And to me, Baltimore is exactly that. And that doesn't guarantee you anything. And just because you've lost before doesn't mean you will lose. Doesn't mean you will win. But man, they're in about as good a position as you could really hope to be.
Seth, we linked up the story on our Twitter account at Glenn Clark Radio. Of course, we know everybody can follow you at Seth Walder on Twitter, and you're on Blue Sky, correct?
Yeah. Follow me on Blue Sky too, please.
Excellent. Anything else that we can plug for you, sir?
Oh gosh, just check me out there. I'll have lots of. I did, if you want to look back, I did an off-season grades story a couple weeks ago. That was a big one for me. I broke down moves by every team, all looking at values and contracts and everything. Baltimore scored pretty well there. I think I gave them a B+. But check out all the teams and follow my work.
Seth, really appreciate you, man. Thank you for spending the time with us. We'd love to do this again real soon.
Thank you.
Seth Walder from ESPN with us here on GCR. And, yeah, I mean, as our friend Paul Valley from the Bat Around, he just retweeted something that Seth said and said, biggest thing for the Ravens is staying healthy. Injuries happen to every team. But if they stay healthy, they're the best team in the NFL. In a world where we acknowledge that quarterback is more important, I agree. Because I do agree with Seth. If it was just binary, 22 versus 22, I would say I think the Eagles have a better roster than the Ravens. But in a world where we acknowledge that quarterback is more important, I do think the Ravens are the best team, the best collection of football players in the NFL. They don't have the advantage of playing in the NFC. That's part of the story. I mean, that's. I'm not saying that's why. Obviously, the Eagles got to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and railroaded them. So for me to suggest that, if they had played in the AFC, they wouldn't have won, not what I'm saying. They might very well have won. But we can't ignore that it was an easier path coming through the NFC. And, for example, when Jalen Hurts got hurt late in the season, they were still able to hold on to the number 1 seed in part because of that. So that does matter. But it's more than that. The Ravens still have to prove that they can do it. They have to prove that they're not going to throw up on themselves. And that, they haven't been good at that. They've been really good at throwing up on themselves. I'm just trying to think of if there's any of the playoff losses where you would say they played well, the other team just played better. And we might have to go back a ways to get to that. Like, I'm racking my brain.
Yeah, even like the Tyler Huntley game. Was like
they really did. They threw up on themselves. That's a great point, right? Like, I mean, it's hard. Does that count? Like, I get it. I mean, we're really going back. Like, I'm going back. The Buffalo game, there was the whiff on the block. I mean, the first one, the one in the COVID year. There was the whiff on the block, and then the interception that followed because of it. Like, is there a year where they played really well in the playoffs? Just the other team, and maybe ultimately because they did rally in that initial in Lamar's rookie season against the Chargers, they rallied and they
lost that one. But yeah.
They just got their brains beat in. I guess. Yeah, that's the reality. The reality is, and they've lost in the playoffs. It's not been like the thing where the Bills left 13 seconds on the clock, and that's all the Chiefs needed in order to go win. They haven't had something like that.
Right. Where they played.
They did everything in their power, and then the other team just. And I'm sure the Bills will say, "Well, we blame the defense." Like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but
it's just what it is, man. It's just what it is. All right. Hour number 2 of today's show, also brought to you by the Maryland 5-Star. Maryland5star.us is the website. Get your tickets. They are available now for the return of the Maryland 5-Star in October to Fair Hill out in Cecil County. Maryland5star.us, again, with the number 5 is the website. BMox says that obviously what they'll get in the trade for Tomo Sagano is Elias's favorite, a 28-year-old pitcher who's been torched multiple times with an ERA above 7 and but has options left. Well, he's got options left, huh? I don't know.
Well, that's what's going to happen too. He's in his first appearance. He's going to go, an inning, and he'll strike out a guy, and then get like 2 quick ground balls, and then it's like, wait a minute,
right? Yeah, there might be something here.
The next time he pitches, he's going to give up 18 runs.
Hammered, absolutely hammered. There is no doubt that's the way that it's going to go. Doug says, Glenn, I heard your joke about Stephen A. Smith. Are you at all worried that he is friends with Wes Moore? Is he friends with Wes Moore? I know they saw each other at a Ravens game, but are they friends? I don't think that's like a. I mean, I know that Stephen A. Smith is pretending that he's a politician now.
He was going to run for president. So
maybe they've run in a circle together. I don't think that's a friend. I don't think Stephen A. Smith was speaking. If what you're insinuating, Doug, is that Stephen A. Smith is speaking on behalf of the goal of Wes Moore, no. Now, I have no doubt that Wes Moore, Governor Wes Moore, would like to. He probably thinks this is great. The idea that the president of the United States is prepared to torpedo the RFK Stadium deal for the Commanders. If I'm Wes Moore, this is great news. I'm high-fiving people and reminding everybody, hey, we still have, we're still willing to work with you, see if we can't get because he's the governor of the entire state. So, he's got to be thinking about that. I understand why the Commanders wanted to be back at RFK Stadium, and I know that it's, for the people that want to dunk on the governor, it's easy to say, oh, here's another thing that's leaving under Wes Moore. Well, God bless you. If Larry Hogan was the governor, the Commanders would be moving to RFK Stadium. I understand that this is just the society that we live in. We want to dunk on the people that we don't like, but I'm sorry. I have to live in reality. In the real world, that doesn't have a goddamn thing to do with the governor. It's because that fan base adores RFK Stadium. And in part because they have great memories. The team was good when they played at RFK Stadium. In part because it's, central to where, a lot of their fans are in Virginia. And so it's much more desirable to be in a central location than to be in the northern part or northeastern part of the DMV Metroplex. Also, everything about their existence in Maryland has been hell. Has been complete and utter garbage. So yeah, I can understand why that makes them even fonder of the idea of a return to RFK. It was what this ownership group was going to want to do, was going to try to get the team back to RFK. That was always going to be the case. It could be anyone as governor of the state of Maryland. That wasn't changing. Whatever other opinions you have about Wes Moore or Larry, let's have them. I don't give a crap. But this one was always going to be the case. If I'm Wes Moore, I'm making a call to it's Josh Harris is the owner of the Commanders. I'm making a call to him today, like, hey, if you're having some problems with the president, Maryland's still here. We'd still be willing to chat with you.
So is he allowed to do that? He's allowed to just block? I don't know.
I mean, who's stopped? This is, dog, like, yes, I know exactly what you're saying. Like, this is openly, like,
the judicial branch can't.
It's a bribe. He's holding him hostage. It's effing nonsense, but that's what we're just cool with that now in our country. Like, that's just okay. You wanna complete a business deal? You got to fire your late night host. We're just like, yeah, all right, sure. I mean, the people voted. This is what they voted for. Like, this is exactly what he was gonna do. Like, it's not like we're imagine somebody being surprised by any of this. Like, gosh, I just didn't expect this from Donald. Dude, he effing told you exactly what he was gonna do. You voted for it.
Gonna get UFC fights and
right on the White House. That's your
and then Washington will get their name back.
Sure, that's exactly. And look, I know there's a lot of people down there that want that name back.
Strong
I understand
campaign.
that, but I'd still be surprised if that ultimately. I also think that, like a lot of people, this is just a wag the dog technique. This is just, hey, please stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein. So let me talk about something else instead. That's my gut. And then there'll be something else that we have the attention span of a gnat. So in 2 months, we'll have moved on to some other topic. And there's plenty of people that are willing to help the president avoid the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. So, like at some point as a society, we will move on to something else. And then when that happens, I assume that this Washington thing dies down and that they just get the stadium deal done at RFK, and that's what it is. No, I don't think Stephen A. Smith is.
Well, this is obviously the biggest fish to fry, though. I mean,
right. I don't think Stephen A. Smith is projecting that the governor thinks it's a good idea to have a stadium between Baltimore and Washington. First of all, $600 million of public money just went to the stadium in Baltimore. Imagine. I
guess Taos don't have to play there.
$600 million. And then the governor's just like, yeah, but I got another idea. You don't play there. Come on, man. Doug, I don't know, Doug. He might be the nice, but you're not this stupid. Like, the Ravens are not moving. That's not happening.
No, I don't know. Stephen A. and Westmore, they got weekly dinners.
I guess. Apparently they're regular buddies. So yeah, it's just a guy flapping his gums that doesn't know what he's talking about, which is, it's on you. Like, again, we could all just collectively ignore it. Giving any credence to it, even being angry about it. Like, come on, man. That's on you for being concerned about it. But there's nothing there. All right, when we come back in, Chris Bumbaca is still going to join us this morning, USA Today. NFL writer. He wrote something about Lamar Jackson this week. We will discuss that when we come back in on a Tuesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1970. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, the PGA Tour's best are coming to Maryland. The 2025 BMW Championship tees off August 12th through 17th at Caves Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills. See the top 50 players battle it out in the penultimate event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Don't miss your chance to witness world-class golf, fan experiences, and unforgettable moments. Tickets are on sale now at bmwchampionship.com. The BMW Championship, where legends take the lead.
Summer just got a whole lot merrier at Live Casino. Win your share of $30,000 during Christmas in July. Earn entries starting July 1st. Dash in on Saturday, July 26th to be one of 50 winners to unwrap top-of-the-line electronics, home appliances, free play, and other great gifts. Go all in on good cheer at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at DriveEasyMD.com.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Want to improve your golf game or learn to play for the first time? The Baltimore Golf Academy has fun, instructional programs for the beginner golfer to everyday players. The Baltimore Golf Academy can take your game to the next level. Enroll today at baltimoregolfacademy.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, so let's go through it. John in Little Rock wants to trade Adley Rutschman.
Yeah, he does. They need to listen and seriously consider moving Bautista and Adley. The Padres need a catcher and have a great farm system.
So it's an interesting way that he phrases that, because listen, yeah, of course. If there's a team, whether it's the Padres or somebody else, that's willing to pay you Adley Rutschman's value from a year ago, then yeah, absolutely. You're clearly not signing him. So, yeah, absolutely listen. The problem is it feels like right now you'd be selling him for pennies on the dollar. And if the argument is, hey, I don't think it's getting fixed, and so a year from now you'd just be selling him for less than that, like, yeah, that's possible, but I think Adley Rutschman is too much of a talent to – I still think his greater value is here than it is somewhere else. Now, again, this is we're having a multi-layered conversation, because this is predisposing that they are not going to go all in. If they're going to go all in, then you still definitely want to see if Adley Rutschman can be the better version of Adley Rutschman. Can he be? I don't know. If internally they're convinced that he's never going to be that guy again, then yeah, I mean, they should probably be a little bit more aggressive in trying to, but how they could be that convinced, I don't know. From a math equation standpoint, I think the Pythagorean model would say right now it's not wise. It's why I'm having the same conversation. I don't think it's wise to trade Zach Eflin, because I don't think Zach Eflin has any value, and I think that the qualifying offer makes more sense for Zach Eflin. But you're not going to give the qualifying offer to Tomo Sagano. You're not going to give it to Cedric Mullins. You're not going to give it to Ryan O'Hearn. There's only one. I mean, like, there's some small part of me that says like Mullins' value defensively is still, but not for 20. Was it 21 million?
Is that what the call?
I think the qualifying offer is in the 21 million.
Probably not.
Eflin's the only one, just because the price of pitching in baseball is so absurdly insane that even acknowledging you're kind of rolling the dice on Zach Eflin as to whether he can be more like the 2024 version of Zach Eflin, that's what you'd be doing with any other pitcher on the free agent market. And you'd be paying them about the same number. So, like, to me, that's a math equation, and I don't think the math equation is good for trading Adley Rutschman right now. Whereas I do think the math would be good, particularly for trying to trade Dean Kremer and Trevor Rogers. But if you're really going for it, you need pitching, and so that makes it a complicated conversation. I'm not exactly sure where the math equation falls on Felix Bautista. Like, I think he has a high value. But is it possible that, like, he finishes the season in Baltimore and
and even
like
and
you
somehow
start
it goes up.
You start seeing him like around 100 mile an hour.
Right.
Then at the end of the year, his value becomes even higher because he looks like an even better version of himself, despite the fact that you lose, another playoff race of.
I feel like I want to compare him to like Mason Miller, kind of, and like the A's not trading him, obviously. So
they say they're not.
Yeah, but right. Well, I feel like it heated up. Maybe it's just because the Orioles were in it last year and we were talking about it.
Right.
But it felt like it was more hot last year. The Mason Miller talk, and it has its and I feel like it's died down. So I feel like, does that just mean there's maybe not quite as big a market for closers?
That's
as
possible.
We think? Yeah.
I mean, it's possible that that's the case.
Or at least controllable.
Or again,
closers,
to the point, the Athletics are asking for so ungodly much, but that's sort of what you're saying. Like I would only want to trade Felix Bautista if it's for so ungodly much.
Yeah.
And so if so ungodly much isn't available, then we're not just doing it for
godly much.
Yeah, it's certainly not godly much. Oh man, no chance. And over my dead body, are they trading him for godly much? That ain't happening. I understand the point that John's making, and it's sort of an extension of the conversation that I'm having about taking a deeper look at where they are. But I still don't think that trading Adley makes sense. Not right now. I can't make that make sense. Obviously, one of the you just mentioned, apparently all the draft picks besides Shamar Stewart and Quinshon Judkins are now signed. It took a little while for the second-round picks to start coming off the board, but ultimately the dominoes started falling, and second-round picks have now signed. The Shamar Stewart thing, whatever is going on in Cincinnati just remains objectively hilarious. Like, they finally, like, everybody assumed they had to get rid of one of the wide receivers, and then they're like, ha, we showed you, we got them both. And they're like, well, what did it cost?
Well,
our
no
defense.
Yeah.
And maybe what they're saying is, look, our defense sucked with Trey Hendrickson, so the hell's the point?
We had
here?
the sack leader. What if we just get no sacks now?
Right.
Maybe our offense will be on the field more.
How much worse could it be? They might have a point. I don't know. So Trey Hendrickson leaves town. He shows up to Ohio. Like, hey man, if you want me, I'll be out there for start of training camp. And they're like, we're good. And so he skips town. The Shamar Stewart thing remains unsettled. I don't know what they're doing there. I have no idea what's going on in Cincinnati, but this is where Drew
figure it out.
It's where Drew would say Bengals gonna Bengals, right? Like, until they prove otherwise, this is always who they are. They're always gonna be the team that deals with this stuff. And then somebody would say in response, well, hey, the Ravens had a problem with their quarterback a couple years ago. And that would be fair, but they did get it resolved in June.
Offseason.
June or May?
April.
April?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, because it was
right before the draft.
Right. It was draft. Yeah,
day.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got it resolved in April, not July. So we'll see how that goes for them. And I feel like there was have you seen is your tidbit at all related to Rich Hill?
No, it wasn't.
Have you seen any of the tweets going on?
I mean, I saw he was drafted before Bobby Witt was born. I saw that one. That was
so Christopher Kamka,
or people making stuff up.
The guru of research and nuggetry for Marquee Sports Network, the Cubs network. Rich Hill once faced Jamie Moyer.
Okay.
Jamie Moyer once faced Steve Carlton. Steve Carlton pitched in the same game as Warren Spahn. Warren Spahn faced Satchel Paige.
Wow.
Paige was a teammate of Bill Gatewood, who was born in 1881. 5 steps from Rich Hill, who's going to make a start for the Kansas City Royals at the age of 45.
To get to 1880.
To get to Bill Gatewood, born in 1881, which is, for those that don't know that math, 144 years ago.
Jeez. Well, good for him.
I guess.
Maybe the Orioles should have signed him.
I don't know about that. So, yeah, those are the things that I saw hopping around today that caught my eye. Why don't we come back in and talk to Chris Bumbaca, because we got to take one more break anyway, and I'd like to go ahead and knock that out. There's a small part of me that's thinking about putting the Norfolk Tides game on after this. I don't know why.
Well, you want to see Adley play, yeah.
I guess.
See how much value he's got.
I guess. Is he definitely in the lineup?
I
guess I should have checked that, because if he's not.
Yes, because they said he's starting his rehab today, right?
I know, but they'd still have to put him. Yeah, he is batting. He's not catching, he's DHing, but he is batting second. So at least, I don't know, maybe try to watch the first inning. All right, we'll come back in. We will talk to Chris Bumbaca. This is Glenn Clark Radio. Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantopoulos family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the first ever Baltimore basketball player to reach the Naismith Hall of Fame as we talk to those who knew Carmelo Anthony best about how his Baltimore upbringing shaped his legendary career. Also inside, Bo Smolka profiles Ravens second-round pick Mike Green and find our annual summer travel section with information on some of the best sporting events and activities in Maryland that your family can check out all summer long. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Tuesday edition of the program. Ravens reporting to training camp today. Practices start tomorrow. Our next guest this week writes for USA Today about Lamar Jackson and his hell-bent nature to try to win a Super Bowl and the pain that it caused him to not do it a year ago. He is USA Today NFL writer Chris Bumbaca, and he is with us this morning here on GCR. Chris, it's Glenn. It's always great to catch up. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Hey, Glenn, thanks so much for having me on. Really great to be here.
Chris, it's funny because we're starting training camp, and I'll do, hits on other places in the country, and I keep saying the same thing. The Ravens are kind of boring this time of year, right? Because there really is only one question that surrounds the Ravens. Are they going to win the Super Bowl this year, or at least get to a Super Bowl? And we kind of can't know that at this point, but that's really all this comes down to at this point for the Baltimore Ravens is, great, you got a great roster. You obviously have a great all of these things. It's as simple as this. Are you going to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, boredom at this time of year isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No.
I feel like that's kind of been how they operated the last few years. But you do kind of start playing the dangerous game of waiting till January for things that, quote-unquote, matter more, right? And they do, right? And the Ravens and Lamar Jackson know that their story won't be complete until they kind of lift that Lombardi trophy. And Lamar knows this. And it's because, Lamar really cares about winning, right? That's who he is. You spend time around him. He just wants to win games. He wants to win with his teammates. And, yeah, he wants to win for himself, but he understands that this is a team sport that he's loved since he was a kid, and he understands like all the great things that come from playing team sports, the unity, the camaraderie, the brotherhood that we see in football locker rooms. I think that like means a lot to him, and the relationships that he develops with people. And he understands that, for the community that really loves him in Baltimore, delivering a Super Bowl would put him in that.
Well, and to the point that you made in your piece, like, I think a lot of people thought it was insane that Lamar Jackson wasn't the NFL MVP last year. And for the point, I do think it was kind of nuts. But I know Lamar Jackson doesn't care. It's just, there's nothing that matters other than winning a Super Bowl. I don't know, it's gone. We'll see if we can't get that straightened out with Chris Bumbaca. It's been a technology day. I don't know what's happening with the phones today. But we'll try to get that straightened out, and we'll get Chris Bumbaca back up here with us here on Glenn Clark Radio. Chris, yeah, as I was saying, you point out in your story that, like, as much as it was nuts that Lamar wasn't the MVP last year, undoubtedly he's over that part of this. Like, and this is the other thing. Like, there's nothing left for Lamar Jackson. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He is one of the most incredible talents we've ever seen play the game. There's just one standard that's left, which is he going to be a Super Bowl winner or not?
Yeah, and then again, like, it all goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier. And, like, yes, there's an entire season to play. There are all these great performances to watch from Lamar, presumably going into this season. But yeah, it's going to come down to those 3-4 games in January, right? Like, and I think John Harbaugh knows this, Lamar Jackson knows this. So yeah, I think having the two MVPs prior maybe softened that blow for Lamar, losing it to Josh Allen last year. I don't think it helped that Josh Allen and the Bills were the team that knocked out the Ravens last year in the divisional round. But yeah, I think Lamar's definitely going to have week 1 circled against Buffalo and Josh, even if they're saying that it doesn't matter who they're playing.
Let me ask this, Chris. I think a lot of us have asked the question, is there a danger that perhaps it's too obsessive for Lamar? And I bring it up in the context of we've seen in the playoffs him get away from the things that have made the Ravens so great in the regular season. 2 years ago, it was kind of abandoning the run, and as much as we criticize the play calling for that, some of it undoubtedly was him checking out of run calls and trying to do something more. Last year, we all know that Lamar Jackson is capable of picking up a botched snap and turning it into a magical play because we saw it against the Bengals last year. But in the playoffs, probably not the time to do it. It leads to a terrible turnover and then just an unfathomable interception that kind of turned that game. Is there any danger to his obsession with winning a Super Bowl that perhaps he goes beyond himself when they're in the postseason?
Two things, I think, Glenn, on that point. Like, number one is that Lamar is focused enough, and I think the culture of the Ravens and the way John Harbaugh coaches is that it's always one game at a time, right? Like, I think that within the larger goals, they're able to compartmentalize and keep things one game at a time, which is, a cliche, but also very important in the National Football League. And then the second thing is that this offseason, I think, working with Lamar, they have kind of placed an emphasis on finishing, and it's something that Lamar himself kind of self-diagnosed in the fact that, yeah, like, he has to play better in those moments. He can't be doing those things. He needs to be the best version of himself. He needs to be MVP Lamar. He needs to go out there and if he's not putting up ridiculous numbers, playing winning football, no matter what. And at times in each of the last 2 playoff losses, he has not played winning football. And that's just a non-negotiable for the Ravens and Lamar to get to where they want to go.
Chris, I've argued that, like, maybe he needs to be. I hate, you never want to limit someone because Lamar Jackson is Superman, but, like, you almost wonder if they need to be more boring. Like, that he needs to just, hey man, we know what you can do, but today we don't need you to do that. Like, I just wonder if that needs to be part of the conversation.
No, I think they do a pretty good job of that. I think the way Todd Monken has kind of designed this scheme is, like, it looks great and it looks explosive and it looks awesome, but for what Lamar is being asked to do, it's It's stuff that he's comfortable with. It's stuff that he knows he can do. And then for the crazy highlight reels, this is what he's kind of improvising, holding onto the ball for longer than 2.5 seconds after the snap and make it his magic that we know he can do. And that's what we see on the highlight reels. That's what we see on the social media after the game. So I think like asking Lamar to not be Superman, it might be more detrimental,
Yeah.
but again, like it's a maturity, it's a finishing thing. And I think it's important to note that I think he's going to play this entire season. Oh, yeah, he's 28. So I think he turns 29 January 7th. So again, 28 years old in quarterback years, that's still really young.
No doubt about that. Chris, as we talk about how good the Ravens are, and I say it's kind of boring, is there anything that during the course of the next 6 weeks before the season begins, you are particularly interested? Is there anything that maybe is more, I don't want to say concerned because I don't think it's personal to you, but you know what I mean, like that you would be more concerned about when it comes to the Ravens than perhaps the average person is?
I think I'm interested to see how the offensive line shakes out. I think that they had some they brought back Ronnie Stanley at left tackle. I think that was a good deal for them to get done before free agency started, and Tyler Linderbaum is an all-pro at center, but you have a couple other question marks along the line there, and I know that was kind of the case last year, and they did all right with it. George Warhop having a full season or at least a full off season after the sad death of Coach Joe D last year.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that group kind of comes into this season and is able to build like a cohesive five. Because obviously their job is to protect the guy we've been talking about this entire time, Mr. Jackson, as Mike Tomlin calls him. So, yeah, I mean, I'm always interested to see how the offensive line shakes out. Because, and it's, again, we keep talking about boring answers. That might be a boring answer because what else am I really concerned about? I was really racking my brain there for a second. Not much.
Yeah, no,
not much.
I think as far as personnel goes, to your point, it's guard in particular, and then obviously the conversation would go to kicker, and I think that becomes the interesting part to me is how much rope does, presuming it's Tyler Loop, who they drafted, how much rope do they give him on a team that's trying to win a Super Bowl? Is it you're the guy, we believe in you, or is it, hey, if you start off 3 for 6, we're going to need to see what's on the veteran market because this can't be the thing that costs us the ability to win the Super Bowl?
Totally, yeah. I wouldn't expect the leash to be too long, even though they did use a draft pick on him, just because there are options out there on the veteran market. It's a pretty cyclical, and there's a lot of turnover in the kicking market. I'm actually here at Commanders camp right now, and I'm thinking back to them last year and how they kind of mixed and matched until they found Zane Gonzalez late in the season. So maybe it's something like that, which is why I'm not as committal in saying, Tyler Loop, it's your job, buddy. Go out there, knock them dead. But hey, maybe it works out for them that way, and that would be a great use of a pick and resources well done by Eric DaCosta. But you never know.
I guess now I should probably, because you maybe more than anyone are going to be most impacted by it. How excited are you about the obvious shared stadium coming to Columbia? I assume near like the Merriweather district is probably where they're going to be opening it. I got to imagine that you in particular really fired up about that.
Oh yeah, all my teams right there. You know what? I would encourage Stephen A. to maybe do a little bit more research on the geography and traffic patterns of this area before saying such a thing.
This is such a dumb thing. There's in the Big 3 basketball league, there's a team called the DMV Trilogy. And Will Barton, Baltimore's own, is now playing for that team. And I made a joke earlier this year because like they came to Baltimore, the Big 3, and they were like, "Hey, you've got a home team now. It's the DMV Trilogy." And I just sort of like, this is what happens when people who have no idea how things work in this market or in these markets, when they think that they can market to these markets, and they say, "Yeah, Baltimore, that's the DMV, right? Like they're in Maryland." And they just have no effing idea what they're talking about. Like,
it reminds me of the FIFA bid here that they wanted.
Yeah, make it one market.
Like they'll host in DC and stuff, and then they'll play it at
matches
M&T.
in Baltimore, right? Yep, and one share.
Oh, yeah, how'd that work out? You know, you got one of the best soccer fan bases in the country here with no Men's World Cup games next year because of that idea.
It's a very frustrating conversation, my friend. That is a very, very frustrating conversation. Hey, aside from all of the name and stadium drama, I would assume there's, like, legitimate excitement down there. And, like, I think they have every reason to be excited. I think that they might legitimately be as much a threat to the Eagles as anyone is in the NFC.
Yeah, for sure, legit excitement. I won't, like, you know, you never know how a tougher schedule impacts a team after they kind of had that surprise season. You know, I feel like that happens a lot in the NFL where you're playing a fourth-place schedule or whatever, and you end up winning a few more games than people thought because maybe the schedule isn't as strong and you're better off in year one or whatever year you're at in your build-up. So I'm interested to see, definitely a lot of excitement. The Terry McLaurin situation is not great with him. You know, he's going to hold out.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate him being here tomorrow for the first day of practice. So that's always a little, you know, spice of drama here for Commanders fans. But, I mean, how could you not be excited after last season and Jaden Daniels and the 2.5 decades of misery that kind of preceded this? So, yeah, no, I mean, Commanders fans definitely deserve this moment.
Oh, there's no doubt. Look, man, we used to up here have like animosity towards. Now it's just like we just started feeling so freaking sorry for them that like
right.
Up here we're sort of like, yeah, good for them. You know, like people should only have to go through so much. We have linked the story up on our Twitter account at Glenn Clark Radio. Of course, USAtoday.com, and the USA Today is where you find him. On Twitter at Boom, but spelled out BOOM, like we bring the boom, at Bumbaca. Anything else I can plug for you, Chris?
No, that's it. Thank you so much. Yeah, keep clicking back for all of our stories throughout training camp. Headed out to the Midwest next week for a little Bears, Packers, Colts, Bengals tour. So if you're looking for some NFC North, AFC North or AFC South action, we got you covered.
Yeah, speaking of holdouts, you're going to go check out the Cincinnati Bengals and see if maybe they decide to have like one defensive player on the roster this season. You know, like, what a thought.
They have an entire exhibit for the Bengals.
Chris, appreciate you, dude. We'll be in touch. Thanks so much, man. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, Glenn. Have a good one.
That's Chris Bumbaca with us here on GCR. Appreciate him taking the time. All right, we are winding down so that we can try to watch Adley Rutschman strike out on 3 pitches. Sorry, I wish
you're just completely.
I don't feel good about that.
Anti-everything.
I just, dude, how am I supposed to not be down at the moment?
Well, he's Adley Rutschman.
I remember when he used to be.
Yeah, he used to be good.
It's like saying Tiger Woods is still Tiger Woods, dog. Like, come on, man. Let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you today by the print issue of Press Box. Just a couple of weeks left to pick up this print issue. Really great issue. One that we're really proud of. A great cover story about Carmelo Anthony and his Hall of Fame journey, the first ever Baltimore basketball Hall of Famer, and how Baltimore played a role in his legendary career. Also, it's our annual travel issue, so lots of great info in there about activities and events throughout the state of Maryland. Go pick up that print issue today, wherever you find Pressbox. You can read it all, pressboxonline.com. What you got?
So yesterday, we actually have 2 pitchers now this season. Tarek Skubal picked up his 5th start on Sunday night of 10 strikeouts, no walks. Zach Wheeler joined that group, or also picked up his 5th start of 10 strikeouts, no walks yesterday. The most starts in a season of 10 strikeouts and no walks in a single season by a pitcher is just 7. So they're both already at 5, Tarek Skubal and Zach Wheeler. And it has only been done.
I don't remember. Somebody sent out a tweet. It might have been, or maybe one of the baseball reporters was doing an interview this week, and somebody asked him about Tarek Skubal, and they're like, "Well, he's going to get $400 million. It's just going to be whether it's from the Yankees, Mets, or Dodgers." And like,
was it Buster?
I think it was Buster. Yeah. And like, it just is so dystopian, right? Like, and it's all of the response.
Right.
Like,
they're like, not the team that drafted him in the 10th round.
Cool sport you got here. Yeah. You know, like this is just where we are. And look, he's right.
Yep.
And they're right.
Well, once after the next start from Skubal or Wheeler, that goes 10 strikeouts, 0 walks, they will join a list of just 5 pitchers to have at least 6 starts of 10 strikeouts, no walks in a single season.
10 strikeouts, no walks.
It's only been done by five pitchers.
I mean, this is that strikeout number is not so. You think it needs to be a strikeout pitcher, but a lot of those guys are also the guys that are likely to walk. So, Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson, yes. What year?
I don't know. Shut up.
2004, of course.
Oh yeah. Roger Clemens.
Not Roger Clemens.
Sandy Koufax.
Not Sandy Koufax.
Walter Johnson.
Not Walter Johnson.
Nolan Ryan.
All five of these guys had accomplished this on the other side of 2000. This year.
Really?
Yep.
Scherzer.
Scherzer is not on the list. Scherzer only did it 5 times.
Verlander
has done this. 2019 with the Astros.
Kershaw.
Kershaw did do this as well. 2016.
Steven Strasburg.
Strasburg not on this list.
Roy Halladay.
No Doc.
Aaron Nola.
No Aaron Nola.
Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole did this twice. Did it in 2021 with the Yankees, and then on that same 2019 Astros team, he had 7 such starts. Cole and Verlander at the top of that rotation. Not fair.
CC Sabathier.
No CC. Just one more we're looking for here.
David Price.
Not David Price.
Adam Wainwright.
Not Adam Wainwright.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Charlie Morton.
No, not Charlie
Morton. How about? I'm also not sure that we can actually watch MLB Network now that
I think I have an MLB account, so
right.
yeah.
Go ahead. You pull that up then. Yeah. Felix Hernandez.
Not Felix.
I really just throw it right into dead man's territory. Madison Bumgarner.
No, not Mad Bum.
Tim Lincecum.
Nope, not Tim Lincecum.
Jeez, did I say Adam Wainwright? Did I guess him?
Yeah, you did. Not
Christ.
Not,
all right. Come on, man. Date Jacob deGrom.
2002 is when he did this.
2002.
Yeah.
2002. Mike Messina?
Not Messina.
Andy Pettit?
Not Pettit.
Pedro Martinez?
Not Pedro.
Is that still somehow Maddox?
No.
How about Lord? 2002. Glavine?
No, not Glavine. Guy who.
Okay. All right, yeah, probably. Hang on.
Maybe
Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling.
Hey!
There you go. He knew. That's the only hint you need. A guy,
Yeah, guy who maybe. That's what I needed. Oh, if you said maybe, then the answer is Kurt Schilling. All right, very good. Let's get tubular.
Okay, everybody, it's going to be quick today.
What was the main focus today, Coach?
Fundamentals, ball control. It's always huge.
Any early thoughts on the competition this year?
Well, look, this is the best of the best players in the world. It's going to be an amazing tournament.
Tournament?
Yeah, the BMW Championship at Caves Valley. What are you guys talking about? All they ever asked me about is football.
Yeah, that was what I was just trying to add to it. I just thought maybe I could be hired as an actor at some point. I think I could.
Well, I wonder who the acting reporters were that they used.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's what's coming up tonight. Masson 2, Orioles, Guardians, 6:40. Brandon Young and Joey. Is it Cantillo or Cantillo?
I don't know.
Okay. MLB Network right now for the Norfolk Tides and the Lehigh Iron Pigs with Adley Rutschman making a. Oh Jesus, we're gonna miss it. It's starting. We're never gonna see it.
It's gonna take me 5 minutes to
100%. And he's
email.
batting second, so we're not gonna see it.
It started right at noon.
Yep. And then Twins Dodgers at 10:10. YouTube tonight for the basketball tournament. NXT ERA Elite or NXT Next Era Elite probably. Against
WWE NXT ERA.
Might be. Against Team Shell Shock at 7 o'clock from down at Madison. It's the regional final for the James Madison Regional. Women's Euro. Did you do the work?
Oh, yeah, I did. I didn't add yesterday's games, though. I
There were two.
It's not good for me. For me and Kyle.
Oh,
for me and Kyle.
Oh, that's great news.
No, it's not good.
That's great.
No. Did you hear me? I said it's not
did.
good.
That couldn't be better news. I'm so excited. Today on Fox at 3 o'clock, Italy and England in the Women's Euro.
Let's see what were yesterday's games, because I had Peru.
We missed it. That's too bad.
And they lost to whatchamacallit, Argentina. All right, so Argentina won. Chile beat Ecuador. I think, and that's that is a big problem, because I believe Kyle has Argentina and I had Peru. So I think.
Oh, this could be it. You could be Dunsky.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Or who was Kyle's team?
Yeah.
No, KZ had.
I don't know.
Oh, Kyle had Brazil. Sorry. Okay, but that's almost worse though, because Brazil's better than Argentina.
Well.
Either way, I lost. I didn't get points.
Well, you had a good run.
So it looks like, KZ's in first. Nick Kelly.
I'm not really worried about I know there's some cash involved, but
yeah.
I'm not really concerned about that.
Jeremy Kahn has 12 points. I have 10, and Kyle has 9.
You didn't say my name in there at all.
Yeah, you're in the middle. You have 14.
I'll take it.
So you're 5 points clear of the bottom right now.
Hell yeah, I am.
And your teams are Germany, Wales, and Uruguay.
I don't know if any of them are still alive. I couldn't tell you. All right.
Who'd you say today's games?
Today's games are Paraguay and Brazil at 8, Colombia and Bolivia at 3.
So Kyle's going to pass me when Brazil beats Paraguay today.
That's just too bad, buddy. That's just too bad. I feel
really
terrible for you.
I don't think any of my I need. Oh wait, we play. That's what it is. Paraguay. I have Paraguay, and Kyle has Brazil, so we play each other.
Oh, big one.
If we can get a draw, if Paraguay can muster a draw,
you're feeling good then.
Not feeling good, but I'm gonna be. I won't be on the bottom.
All right, so we got that going for us. That's on FS1 tonight. Masson has Reds Nationals at 6:45. You're not even trying. TBS Red Sox Phillies at 6:45. The MLB TV free game Astros Diamondbacks at 9:40. MLB Network has Twins Dodgers at 10:10. ESPN Fever and Liberty at 8. Dream and Aces at 10. ESPN 3 and Monumental for Sparks Mystics at 7:30. Then ESPN 3 also has Sky Lynx at 8. Wing Storm at 10. More the basketball tournament on FS2. Tennis Channel for the City Open down in D.C. all day. CW for WWE NXT tonight at 8. And then the non-sports that I'll have you tell me about after you attempt to put the password in, but let's be honest, it's not gonna. I can't wait till it's the machine who's up at the plate, and we've already.
No, we might be able to get Jeremiah Jackson, right?
Is he? I don't know who that is.
He's the guy who he does not get out. He's doing pretty good actually.
Oh, okay.
They're 3-hole hitter.
All right, well.
And hopefully
is he good enough to be in the major leagues or?
We'll see. Look, here we go.
Hey, we'll get to see it.
Jeremiah Jackson. He's batting .385. That's pretty good.
That does seem good. Who is he?
I think he came out of nowhere, or he just signed as a free. Okay, so we didn't miss anything.
All right, great. Go ahead.
There we go. It was 12:05 start. Not really a whole much.
Apparently a 12:07 start.
Yeah, not a whole lot. Shark Week stuff continues on Discovery. LL Cool J's got a little docuseries about hip-hop on Paramount Plus called Hip Hop Was Born Here. It was about New York. Okay, so hip-hop in New York.
I like LL Cool J.
A Red Eye, a new series on Hulu, even though they already did a movie called Red Eye. But I forget who was it. Oh, Cillian Murphy was in the movie Red Eye. It was actually all right. It was solid. It was a good action.
By the way, you didn't put the Sunday Best documentary in Tubular yesterday.
Did I miss it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I finished it last night. That's the Ed Sullivan documentary.
I can go back and edit.
I don't think we need to go back and update yesterday's Tubular. I think we'll be all right.
Your two favorites on Fallon tonight, Pete Davidson and Kid Cudi.
Yes, they're plugging Sunday Best about Ed Sullivan.
Oh, that's nice of them. Bad Bunny and Leanne Morgan on Stephen Colbert.
They are plugging Jon Stewart.
Why?
They're fans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny is. Interesting.
Yeah, big fans.
And then Sterling K. Brown and Paul Walter Hauser on Kimmel.
This is the problem with Paul Walter Hauser. He's in everything. I can't tell you anything that he could be plugging because it might not be a joke. He might also be in that. So I don't know. He's plugging squash.
Squash?
Yeah.
That's coming back?
Not the sport, the fruit. Yeah.
Or is it a vegetable or fruit?
Kumquat. I don't know.
And there you go. Those are your big ones.
That's what we got.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Gourd. Squash is a gourd, right?
Yes.
That's what it is.
So what is a gourd?
I don't know. Thanks to Chris Bumbaca. Thanks to Qadry Ismail.
Almost?
Thanks to Seth Walder from ESPN. We'll get it up in the greatest hits section of the
Galveston.
Didn't prepare anything. That's my guy. That's Griffin Bass, ladies and gentlemen. Tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. And then because you've been busy with tomorrow.
Exactly. We've got a big show tomorrow. It's Wednesday. Would you rather Wednesday?
Right.
And we are going to go out to Aberdeen.
Okay.
Michael Forret will join us.
Oh, sure.
He's the Orioles' number 7 prospect.
If you say so.
Until they update him with the draftees. But yeah.
All right.
And a lot of stuff and things. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks to everybody at Pressbox. All our great sponsors. And this is...
No Drew. I mean, that's positive, right?
That is positive. All our great sponsors and partners, including Game Day Men's Health, the Maryland 5-Star, Live Casino and Hotel, BMW Championship, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Baltimore's Classic 5 Golf Courses, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Costas Inn, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great...
Apparently squash is a fruit. They consider it a fruit.
So I was right the first time. Have a great Tuesday evening. Go Team Shell Shock.
Yeah.
Go Birds. Duke sucks.